Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
So for those who are listening from the Zoom, from YouTube, from any streaming app, on the radio, welcome. This is Marie-Ève Mongrain. I am a life coach, Freedom Formula Master Facilitator. I'm a mom, and this is my first show with you guys without Jill Nicolini as my co-hostess. So I decided I was going to invite amazing people that I've met and that have super inspiring stories, and just to show you that I'm not the only one living the new paradigm way, and that manifesting is something that we all do. And so I decided to call, maybe it's going to need some work, to call my show the Me Time Show with Marie-Ève.
There you go.
M-E is for Marie-Ève. And I used to do that when I was in college, university. To run for president, I said, vote for me. And M-E was standing for Marie-Ève.
You were born to be a leader.
I was born to be a leader. I tried, but I didn't have the belief in the mindset backing me up, though. So now
exactly,
we're going for it. So, hey, thank you so much. You're my first guest, and it's so exciting. So we have half an hour of being together. But after that, just to, if you're interested, we can still stay on just for the purpose of this podcast, 30 minutes, but then we can still record and still be together for longer. I love chatting with people.
Sure, I love it. Actually, is my first podcast, my first interview ever, really.
Amazing.
So I'm really, really excited. And yeah, and I'm all new to this new paradigm lifestyle, and I love it. I love creating my reality. I love working with energy. And it's just super exciting.
Energy is amazing. I'm so into it since I discovered that about 3 years ago, how I was thinking something and it would manifest in my reality. I'm like, wait, I thought this happened, right? And when you start being conscious of this, it's incredible. You're like, oh my God, what else did I create in my life that was not necessarily what I wanted, but I still created with my life, right? Oh my God, just from our thoughts and our emotions. And now we are part of Ursula Gatchell. So want to talk about a little bit about yourself. Just quickly, introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay. I'm Ursula Gatchell. I'm 59 years old. And for 56 years, I lived under the old paradigm. I didn't know any better. The good thing about it is like that I've always loved to have fun. And I think that's why I've grown so much, so fast in the last 2 years, because fun was always my middle name. I didn't really know what I was doing, but so 2 years ago, I came across Abraham Hicks, Nick Bro, personal development, the law of attraction. And I just consumed it all because I always knew that there was more to life than what was happening.
Yes.
I've always thought, I was born Catholic, raised Catholic, and I was told about heaven and hell. But something inside me, or they said, if you do this, you're going to go to hell. You got to do this to go to heaven. You got to go to church. But I always felt like we can make life on earth, heaven or hell. I always had that, I think you can, and I've realized that it's true because we can make our lives very positive or very negative by the way we think, by the words that come out of our mouth, by the way we feel. So, like I said, I'm all brand new to this new lifestyle, and I see how my reality has changed. I have the best relationship I've ever had. The relationship with my kids is off top of the chain. Before I thought they could, it was just like, I want to say one thing, when we think we know what other people are thinking, it's just so wrong because we're just thinking ourselves.
We're actually transposing. When we think, I think he thinks that about me, we're actually transposing what we think about ourselves.
I know. And then we start projecting that. So we start seeing in our reality, what we're thinking. So when I learned that, and I'm like, now I'm just like living in a new paradigm. And I retired from the post office after 32 years.
That's amazing. That's a loyal lady. She was at the post office for 32 years. I mean, that's a long time.
And I always say that the two most stable things in my life have been my job at the post office for 32 years, my gynecologist for 20 years because living places that I've lived, relationships that I've had, they've been like in and out, like next, because
Can we
my
also say
mindset
that?
was not right.
Can we also say that the longest relationship you've had was with yourself?
Well, you are absolutely correct.
Yes, we're the first people. Like when we were born, we're the first one who's gonna love ourselves, and when we die, we're the only one who's gonna be there. Like we're the only one who have been there every moment, like till death do us part, till for in sickness and in health, we're the only one always there 24/7, right? That's why our relationship to ourselves is so important. We're the only one who can physically be there all the time.
That is such a good realization. And actually, I remember people used to say, well, you say you can't love someone unless you love yourself. And that's what happened in my life. I couldn't really love. Oh, I've had amazing guys in my life. It was me that, because of limited beliefs that I had, that I pushed them away.
Mm-hmm.
But now I love myself. I really, truly, now more, when you just said that, you made me realize, yeah, this is the longest relationship I've ever had. So now I love myself, and in consequence, the relationship with my boyfriend is so loving, so amazing. The relationship with my kids, with my family, everything is showing up in my relationship.
For those who don't know, like
my reality.
Want to tell what the new paradigm is?
What's that?
Want to talk about what the new paradigm is, because you're saying old paradigm, new paradigm?
Well, the new paradigm, to me, the new paradigm is the way I'm thinking, the way I believe in myself. I don't let outer circumstances influence my feelings. I'm not going to let something bad that happen, okay, so let's say I used to believe that if you broke a mirror, you would have 10 years of bad luck. And back years ago, I broke a mirror. Yeah. And I was like mortified for weeks. I'm going to have 8 years for bad luck. So for those weeks, my life was chaos. And I even Googled, I said, how do you reverse that? And I read that you wait for a full moon and you dig a hole in the ground and put, so I did that. And
you were trying to fix it.
You were trying to fix it. And I felt better. And I forgot about the bad luck, because in my mind, I fixed it. But there's no reason for those weeks to be all crazy, worried. It was just a stupid superstition. And a month ago, I dropped the mirror. It shattered into pieces. I just picked it up like I do my kitty litter, throw it in the garbage, and that was that. And didn't give it a second thought.
One thing in the new paradigm, right? New paradigm is you as within, so without. So however you feel within is what's going to show up in your physical reality. The old paradigm is you let the outside reality affect how you feel within. But once you understand that if I feel sadness, I'm on the frequency of sadness. So what am I going to attract, right? It's the law of attraction. Mm-hmm. We're attracting. So I'm going to attract everything that makes me feel sad. And if you're in the sense of blaming people and not taking responsibility for your own well-being, well, they did this, you blame people, but in the end, they're only a projection of you. What you see in them is what you see of you. So when your relationship starts to be better with yourself, I said, okay, I need to become my own best friend, because when people were gaslighting me, I was also gaslighting myself. And on the neuroscience part, the brain does not know the difference between you telling yourself that you're ugly and you're no good and someone else doing it. But because we're not conscious of our own thinking, it's just normal that we tell ourselves, oh my God, look at those, at those lines, and just complain about it. When somebody else tells it to us, now we're like, whoa, like that comes from like an insult, right? But they're just saying out loud what we're thinking within ourselves.
What we're thinking, yes.
And so for me, that changed everything. And I'm so happy that you found that, because I don't know, for you, for a while, I was like, how did I not know that before, right? My life would have been so much different if I would have known that in high school.
And it's funny that you say that, because we were watching, my boyfriend and I were watching a video, and I'm 59. It was like maybe 12 years ago. And 12 years ago, I was, well, younger, of course, and I was going out and having fun and thinking I was living the life, but struggling, kind of, my mind was
It was
not,
not in alignment with the mindset.
right. And I looked at myself and I started thinking, I would love to go back to that age. And I said, no, I actually love me right now. I love me now. I don't want to go back to that. I mean, even it was fun, but I'm really, really happy with me now.
And I can also say, like, what is it that you wanted to go back to, right? Not the mindset, but the partying and the dancing. Because you can decide right now that tonight you're going to go dancing, right? That
Yes.
This is just the lifestyle. Now you get to have the lifestyle that match the mindset too. Because 59 is young, right? It's just a number.
It's just a number. And I feel like I act like a little kid. I'll start jumping around and dancing around the house. And
you follow
your
I'm
highest excitement.
Kid. You follow your highest excitement.
Kid. I don't want to grow up.
And you know what? That's what you follow your highest excitement. That's your inner being guiding you to what's fun. And when you follow what's fun, your inner being already knows where you're going, right? If we go with what Nick says and what Abraham says, you're going, it's a GPS. You already know where you're going. Your inner being has everything figured out. You got nothing to fix. That was not a mistake. That was, intelligence, infinite intelligence that made you do that thing for you to figure out, I need to love myself more. So everything has been perfectly orchestrated. And all you need to do is say, I'm here. Now I'm going to follow my highest excitement because I know this is the path of least resistance to where I'm going. And I do agree with you. For me also, I want to work like the heaven on earth. I'm like, it is so possible. It's just a mindset. And if I feel it's heaven within me, guess what? I'm going to be attracted to the places on earth that are heaven on earth. I'm not going to be attracted to the war zone. And it's not because I don't care, but my energy is not going to bring me to the sketchy part of town because I'm not a match vibration need to be there. So I can't see shootings. I can't see anything. I cannot be in that area technically just from an energy wise. So as we're more people raising our vibration, if I raise my vibration, everybody I come in contact with are actually raising their vibration simply energetically without doing anything. It's that easy. And one thing I want to say in the new paradigm, and as you're going to agree with that, is effortlessness and freedom. We attract. We don't chase anymore. We attract. Isn't it amazing?
Yes. And that is it. It's hard to believe how easy it is, but the more you do it, the more you realize, wow, it's so easy.
It is.
That not, and even when contrast comes around, which contrast, it's for our growth. It's like if we look at it as something that we're going to grow, we're going to learn from it. It's so much easier than when we're like my battery's not working, my car's, just worrying about it. Then our energy goes.
And now the secret is knowing that you ask for it and it's done. And we don't care about the how, because the how is just when you're going to be on that frequency. That's the universe. Like one friend said, I don't see movement. I don't think it's happening because I don't see anything happening in my reality. I told her, well, do you see the trees? Do you see the leaves in my tree right now moving? She's like, no. Well, I can tell you it's super windy in my window, but you don't see it, but it's still happening, right?
It's still happening.
Things are happening, and you want that parking spot, even though like there's no parking, and I've lived that one. I say, okay, let's manifest a parking spot, perfect spot, right? And then there was no spot. I turned around and I was like, you know what? Thank you, the person who's leaving at the moment I need the parking. And as I came back around the third time, that person, there was somebody leaving with their car, and the door, the parking was right beside the front door. And I was like, thank you, right? We know it's done. And where we get all blocked off is when we want to control the how. And we're like, I don't see it moving, but you don't know somebody's walking out the door.
Right.
As you're saying.
Yeah, it's ease. Ease is so important. That's why I love that. I've never meditated in my life up until 2 years ago.
Okay.
And now I love meditating, quieting my mind, and I do that well. I'm not very, like, I do things whenever I feel like doing them. I don't have a morning practice. I wake up in the morning and I say, it's going to be another beautiful day. I do say that every morning. Uh, and then whenever I feel like doing my mantra, which I go to the mirror and look at myself in the mirror, put my hand and say my mantra, but I don't have, I don't do that in the morning. I do it whenever I feel like it.
And that's the beauty of alignment, is when you're in alignment with it. It's like, I'm going to do it because it feels fun, not because I have to.
Right.
I know I'm amazing, but I'm not just going to go and tell it to myself for the pleasure of it, right? I know I'm pretty fit. I don't need to lose weight. I'm in a good shape, good health. And then 3 weeks ago, I decided to start Beachbody again, which is a Beachbody on demand. They have workouts. And my inner being was saying, you need to do it, but live on TikTok. I was like, whatever. If it helps me, do my exercise in the morning. I can talk about, after that, I always sit after with the people and we chat about, some blogs they have. I help people through working through limiting beliefs or just whatever, right? Whatever comes up. But it's kind of giving me a way of being in the community, me doing what I need to do, what I want to do, but having fun sharing that energy with people, right? So that's how I've done it.
I've always said I have a lot of energy, but I think that you beat me to it. You're always doing, I love it. I mean, and that's one thing I've always, even before I learned about all the law of attraction, I've always said I have so much energy, because when I was working at the post office, they called me the road runner, because I was always like hustling, and I said, I have so much energy. I have so much, and I do have so much energy. Like, it's crazy.
So we can say thank you for that energy, because that means it's like money, right? Money is energy.
Money is energy.
Right? So when I've changed that, I'm still working through some kinks, but just in my beliefs. But I have so much energy. I not every day. I'm starting to pick it back up now. But if you say I don't have energy, and I took a class with Marie-Ève Pierce, and she said, since money is energy, if you say you don't think you're gonna have enough money till the end of the month, you're saying to the universe, I don't think I'm gonna have enough energy to last till the end of the month. Does that make sense? Right? Does that make sense? No, I know I'm gonna have energy at the end of the month. I will always have that energy.
You just said something that I hadn't thought about it, because energy is money. And I've always felt and know that I have so much energy. So come on over.
It's breakthrough for me as well, right? You saying this just like reminded me of that. I'm like, I do have lots of energy. I wake up in the morning, I do my workout with the people. Like yesterday was 11 o'clock at night. I went and doing TikTok before I went for my bedtime. They're like, oh my God, like, are you on coffee? Like, what are you drinking? You're like, just have so much energy. But now it's just like, okay, vibration. Now it was a good talk we've had this morning. Oh my God, I'm so glad we've talked about that.
Yeah, because it makes me real. Because I've had blocks about money. Like, I used to think money was dirty, because my aunts used to say, oh, if you touch the money, wash your hands. Money's dirty. Don't touch your face, So I always had that money's dirty. So I clear that block. I clear that block. So little by little, like you say, it's a work in progress. But when you just said energy, money's energy, and I always have a lot of energy. So boom.
That's amazing. When we have breakthroughs right live
Boom.
here. It's amazing. We don't even need to do the belief tree process on that one. This is why I love, before I would be so afraid I was a burden, right? I thought I was a burden. I thought people would be suicidal just in my presence because I would say the wrong thing. I was so afraid of saying the wrong thing that would create people chaos in their life. I've healed this. Now I'm discovering my own power and saying, oh my God, by healing myself and seeing my own worth, I know I help people by just being in their present, right? I know energetically I'm not a burden. And so I started doing some conferences, and before, my talent in high school was I was able to recite, oral presentation were my strengths so much. I had so much fun. Oh my God, I would remember my text and just deliver. But since discovering, how we can channel and how everything is perfect, I said, I don't have the energy of writing a text and memorizing it anymore. So when I did conferences, I would just do it on like a couple minutes before, whip it, and just say, I trust that whatever I say is exactly what the people need to hear.
Need to hear.
Because if they're there, they're a match to whatever is going to come out of my mouth. There's
Wow,
something,
yeah.
I don't know what it is, because I can go and say, well, let's talk about these points. I want to teach this to my client or teach this to the audience. Then I can be like, but the points I'm teaching them might not actually be what they want to hear. It might be one of the random story that they're like, this is my eureka moment. That story, it's not the paper, it's not the points, it's the story that will be the eureka for someone. It might be the first word and they're going to leave the room like, I'm good, I got what I wanted. But it might actually be until the last word of your speech that they're going to have that breakthrough because they're matched to hearing it. So that removed me a lot of pressure in conferences, even speaking in podcasts. I'm like, I don't know, like they asked me to do a 2-year contract with them of podcasts. And I'm like, 1 year, we worked out 1 year because I'm like, I just come up with the stuff the morning of. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I just like what happened in my week, right? There's no planning. But I know my higher self's got my back, and now just like follow the fun and highest excitement of, all right, what are we going to talk today? What is my audience needing to hear? Because if you're there, you were a match to me, which is a match to whoever's going to listen to it.
And another thing I've learned, especially like this morning, it's my first interview.
And you're doing amazing.
But I'm like, I kept myself busy because I didn't want to like start. Okay, what I got to go through my notes. What am I going to talk about? It's like, no, I don't want to do that because I know the importance of just going with the flow. So, I kept myself busy, and it's actually last night, my ears started itching really bad. And today I can't really hear that well. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start looking to see what I'm looking at the metaphysical book and see what was.
I got my book here.
I'm like, why is like, I can't hear from this year, but it's okay, no problem. But I kept my mind busy not to plan anything, because sometimes when you plan, it doesn't work.
But actually, what I would do, I would have like 10 minutes before the podcast with Jill, I would write, okay, what do I want to share? Like, oh yeah, this happened. I'm going to write it down. But the question she was asking me were actually the question of the answer I'd written down.
Oh, wow.
So she's like, oh, so how was your trip to Disney? Like, I explained to her my trip to Disney, some of the breakthroughs I had. And she's like, Kristen, now what do you have on your sheet? I'm like, this was part of what I was going to talk about, right? So you can plan, but just, it's okay if you don't stick to it. But it's also okay like, if it helps you feel more secure. But I want to congratulate you to just go with it. And you're doing amazing. I don't know if you guys, but I think she's doing fantastic for your first time, not just even for your first time, being on a podcast. And what I've learned is that you just show up. You just showing up. You could be not ready, but you just showing up. It's your energy that is attractive, right? Not what you say, not what you believe, the energy, and just being there shows people that you don't need to have it perfect. You don't need to have anything figured out. You don't need to feel stressful because it's going to flow so smoothly. If you allow the universe to step in and just, it's going to work out.
And I'm also working on moving beyond my comfort zone to discover what I'm capable of achieving. And that's part of my mantra, because a lot of times I was of the mindset that, oh no, my accent, they're not going to understand me, or, oh my God, my eye, my mate. I was so critical. I was so afraid of moving forward, of acting, of saying things, even of speaking up. I got cleared one time just by being in a meeting. I believe that I had not be able to speak up, got cleared just out of the blue. It just popped in my head. Wow, that's not true. So, but now I'm moving beyond my comfort zone and I'm trying new things. I'm more active on TikTok. I'm putting a lot of, positive vibe posts and stuff. But yeah.
And just know that doesn't matter what you're doing in that video. You are the positive vibe. You don't have to write positive stuff. You yourself are the positive vibe, right? See yourself as, this is me. Doesn't matter what I do. It is positive, because that's
like when I'm farting and my cat is right next to me.
Yeah. That's see, as positive, then the energy people will receive is, we don't want to say, oh my God, this is stupid. I say, oh my God, this is funny. And it brings me energy.
Right.
That's
And
what
there's
I
some
needed
people that are going to
today.
say, stupid, but they're not in the same energy as me. You know,
And
the
if they
people
say
that
like,
think
am I thinking that myself? Okay, whatever. When I have people commenting on my post and it's something that's not uplifting or just something that's kind of like, okay, whatever, I use that and I do a reply video with a little life coaching moment on that. Like, here's my mindset,
wow.
and here's how, this is reflecting that of you, and how can you change that, right? So I'm using these things to explain my lifestyle through my own mindset changes.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome. I like that.
So we want to create something that's good. So let's take, we transmute energy, right? We take the negative and we transmute it into something positive.
Right.
We have that power within ourselves and seeing, is that comment good or bad? Is it affecting my life? Like, new paradigm. I decide if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah,
we have
get
that
to
choice.
choose. I love that word, choose. We get to choose. Every day we get to choose everything. You
Yes.
know?
And so just quickly, since you are also part of the Freedom Formula from Nick Bro, I am part of it too. How do you like the program?
I absolutely love it. And, you know, I was in the collective before I went to New Paradigm, and for 2 years before I joined the Freedom. And I'm so thankful, so grateful that I follow my inner being. And when I joined it, I wanted to join it just as a personal, like I joined it in December, just as for me to grow. But in January, my inner being says, you know, screw it. You can be, your life is changing so much. You can help other people change their mindset. And so now I'm looking forward to getting certified and becoming a coach, and, you know, just give back and help, you know, help the community, help people change their minds and make people realize that we are the creators of our reality.
And let's just say that Nick and Anik, bro, they've created an amazing community. They are the one that I found as well after doing my certification in neurosciences that match my spiritual vision and my beliefs. And I joined also the collective, which is a group where people are, what can we say? It's like, it's not on Facebook anymore. We have our own app, but then I think there's over 500 or 600 people. I think it must be more now. That are there. Every week we meet. Like, today's Tuesday. Nick does 2 lives, one at 3 for everybody. Like, it's to be able to accommodate the Europe side, and then one at 7 p.m. Eastern time to accommodate everyone on this side of the planet. But every week he's got new things, like we had a challenge of raising attracting $1 million as a collective, and we reached $2 million.
$2 million, yeah.
It's just we were the mindset, and every live is people can go on the hot seat, ask question, and say, this is what's going on in my life, and he reframes. And this is the techniques we learned in that program. There's the APA, which is the attraction point audit. There's the belief tree process, which for me, having come from the training in neurosciences, I was like, this is very similar from what I've learned, except it's simpler. It's more direct, more to the point. So I am actually super enjoying this, even though I did a super amazing program. I can see the brain aspect of those questions, what it does. But I am more on that spiritual side, that I know my brain and my body will work out with the beliefs I have about it. So at the same time, why would I focus on the intricacy of the brain if I know I just need to change the belief around it and everything's going to work out? So this technique, and if you're willing, after on the next other part of the podcast, we can work on the belief tree if you want that.
Sure.
Especially now, since you're in it, for those who are interested in joining the program, you can message me. I don't know if you can, since you're not trained yet.
No, I'm not certified. I just, like I said, I just got my, turned in my APA session. So I'm just learning the belief tree.
Perfect.
Just starting the belief.
So for those who are interested, in the techniques and in becoming one of the Freedom Facilitator, there are 2 tracks. There's a track that you can do it for yourself, where you don't need to send any homework, but you don't get certified. Or there's a track that you have some homeworks, and honestly, it's really quick, right? You need to send, 3 or 5 APA?
APA, yeah, I think three APAs, and then there's 5 belief trees.
So you're working with people, you practice the technique, and then we have 3 or 5 Freedom Formula as well. But then that's it. So you can do it as fast as you can or not, but then you get the support of that program. And so you can message me. It's also on my website, Marie-Ève.com. Just before we finish here, you can find me on Instagram at Mongrain90, as well as on TikTok. You can find Ursula on TikTok at Ursula is in it to win it. How else can people contact you if they want to, like, I don't know if you want practice clients, or if I know you have another business, Legalshield Independent Associate. What can you want to talk quickly about what this is?
Well, Legalshield is like having a law firm in the palm of your hands. You pay a monthly service, and in case you have any legal issues, you can actually call the attorney that is in your area, and he can give you advice. So you don't have to spend any money. You don't have to put a retainer. It's a really good program to have. And I started in 2019. I haven't been very active on it, but I'm a member and I use it. I got my will done for free. I've got tickets taken care of, and so it's a really good program. And I would love to have practice clients for the APA and for the belief tree. And I can be contacted by my Gmail account, Ursula is in it to win it @gmail.com.
And just for those,
I don't have a website yet. I have a domain name, but I haven't really created my website. So,
and just so people know, Ursula is in it to win it. It's Ursula is in it, the number 2, win it. Just so that it's not 2 like TWO, or it's 2 the number O. So Ursula is in it to win it @gmail.com. It was so amazing to have you over. We're gonna stay around for a little longer for our other side. I want to thank everyone for listening to us and joining us. And I can say, as I sell Beachbody stuff, I will sponsor myself today as well. So Beachbody, I'm drinking here, Recover the chocolate taste. And so if you want to join Beachbody or join me in my life coaching, and we can help you in any way. So I'm just gonna stop this recording. It was a pleasure having you guys.
Pleasure.
And
thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.